Hi, folks. Helen Bradley here. I just wanted to give you a brief overview of what my reflections have been for the over the past 2 weeks or 3 weeks now. The title of my reflective paper is Thano Techno What? That pretty much sums up where I am as far as technology goes anyway. And yes, my office did once look like this when I when I finally mastered saving files on my computer and checking in monthly with my Facebook friends. I thought I was so smart and so tech savvy. And then came Thano Techno what? Digital funerals, public mourning and grieving, death bots, grief bots, my bots. I was so overwhelmed. I did not understand a lot of the technical terms and language, so I was struggling with that. And then I was also looking for that book that I don't think exists called Thanatech for Dummies. I just could not find that. So here we are, and I have to give a little background. We grew up in a very, very private family when we were dealing with death and dying. We spoke of our wishes and our legacies, but we never even considered any type of digitalization. Again, not that tech savvy to a point, but my friends say my knowledge of the internet is like Swiss cheese, really solid in some places, but full of holes in others. So moving from the private to a public domain has been a very slow process for me. A lot of my friends are way far ahead of me, and they do try to bring me along. So Facebook is public, but I had no idea how public Facebook could be. I had no idea that there were digital funerals being held on Facebook, but I truly get this. We have moved from nuclear families to families that are spread across the United States and sometimes throughout the world. So digital funerals do offer some way of folks to gather, to participate, to share memories, and to also share expressions of grief. Cultural and religious expressions can be embedded into these digital funerals, which is awesome. So those rituals are kept intact and can be shared and passed along from generation to generation. My apprehension, though, stems from how public social media has become. I didn't know that I know I need advanced planning for me, but I did not know I needed care planning for my digital footprint. I never even thought I had a digital footprint, but there you go. Without this plan of care, who's going to be responsible for planning my digital funeral if there is even one that's planned? Would my wishes be considered and adhered to? I polled my closest friends to see what they thought about digital legacies, and they're like, what are you talking about? What planet are you on now? And this is probably very generational, but a very realistic problem and concern as well. Just as physical space has become limited for traditional burials, cyberspace is slowly filling up, and will there even be any room? And what happens to all of my stuff that's out there on the internet? Is it going to ever go away? Or will it eventually just become fodder? Um, excuse me. Uh, Public digital funerals do allow for grieving, but this is also an area of concern for me. We all grieve in different ways. We grieve at different times. Digital grieving can be very communal, offering shared support, but there's also that risk of compromising the vulnerable to the point of exclusion. There are still people out there that do not have access to computers, that are not tech savvy, that don't live or share on Facebook. So, how are we going to be able to incorporate them into that shared communal space when somebody has died? And how are we going to make sure that their grieving processes are intact and following a fairly stable pathway? A lot of people that I know are a little bit leery about Facebook and tend to shy away from it because it is so public. But sometimes postings can be very hurtful and very hostile. So a lot of my friends are like, I got off Facebook because of. Um, so social platforms do offer ways to participate, to remember, to grieve. But my concerns are a little bit more along the lines of how fast everything is growing, how quickly and exponentially the internet has just exploded and continues to explode. All the different platforms that are available for people to participate on as far as digitalization gives me some concern because there are no guardrails. Who's watching the ethical and legal ramifications that stem from um, being on social media and from being on social media when you don't know you're on social media? So those guardrails need to be put into place, but how can we do that with the changes that are so rapid? How are we what are we going to see when we look back in a year? What's going to have changed? Or maybe in 6 weeks, or maybe even next week? How are we going to know how we keep intact not only the concept of public grief, but how do we maintain our privacy as well?